When it comes to Williamson County real estate, buyers have more choices now than they have in years. What does that mean for the market? What does it mean for buyers? And what does it mean for sellers? We're getting ready to get into that. Hey, I'm John Turner. I'm the team lead of the Turner Victory team at Onward Real Estate. We bring you the Williamson County Real Estate Report every week. And this would include all sorts of areas like Franklin and Thompson Station and Brentwood and Nolensville, Fairview, and everything in between. So let's go ahead and get started. We start out with our 3 things that you need to know about the Williamson County real estate market every week before we dive into our charts and graphs. I will tell you these 3 things are interlocked this week. So let's talk about it. First of all, buyers have more choices than they have in many years. Right now, there's about 1,650 homes on the market. So you do have more choices. You would think that that means that this is leading into a buyer's market. However, point number 2 is that the market is quietly tightening, not loosening. So even though we have more inventory, we also are pulling that inventory off the market quicker than what we have in past years as well. So our month supply is actually shrinking, and we'll get into that here in a minute too. The third thing you need to know about the Williamson County real estate market is that the seasonal clock is running. We're at the point of the year where we do see things usually slow down. And so many times we think about this as buyer activity. Buyers slow down, and they do. But what we don't think about is seller activity slows down as well. Not nearly as many homes come on the market from mid-July on through the end of the year. So these are all things we're watching about the market this week in Williamson County. Let's go ahead and jump into that information. So right now, the Turner Victory team market health score is a 45 for Williamson County. That is down from, we were a little bit above 50, so it has shifted slightly from a seller's market to a buyer's market, but we're still real close to 50, and 50 is exact balance. So we're in a balance. It's just trending slightly towards buyers. Excuse me. We'll see whether that remains or not. Why is it trending slightly towards buyers? Well, number one, 1,750 active listings. You will see where that puts us in relationship to the past several years here in a minute. Also, the 30-year mortgage rate is at 6.55. Now, this is down 0.2% from this time last year, but it is up from where it was a little bit earlier this year. We did hit 5.98 earlier this year. It has steadily risen because of concerns in the Middle East with oil prices and with inflationary pressure. So that's what we're seeing, and that's the reason why we have it trending towards a buyer right now. Whenever you look at what's going on, the interesting thing, anything in Williamson County below 1.5 million is still technically a buyer's market, except for the 700,000 price range. So that's really interesting there. Also, the under 500 is becoming, just almost to a balanced market. Once we hit 4-month supply, we do call that a balanced market. We've talked about that lower price point in Williamson County and some of the challenges that it's seeing right now, so I won't get into that anymore today. Do know there's 1,750 homes on the market right now. That means 114 listings came on the market this week. Over 45% of those were new construction. And you can see where new construction with the new listings is making up a big percent in the 500,000 to 600,000. Of course, there were only 6 listings that came on the market this week in that price range. You could also see where we're above 60% in the $1 to $1.5 million price range. Over the past 6 months, we've closed almost 2,500 homes in Williamson County. So let's look at the charts and get into a little bit about what we're talking about. The first one's very easy to see that inventory has risen. The orange line we're looking at means this year. It has risen well above anything that we've seen. It's almost up 10% from last year, because last year we had 1,587, now we have 1,750. boy, look back to 2 and 3 years ago, 1135 and boy, below 1100 right there. So you can certainly see how that has risen. And normally what happens when that goes up is that we start seeing a downward pressure on prices. Are we seeing a downward pressure on prices right now in Williamson County? Good question. I certainly think that it's very competitive, especially depending on what price point you're in. I certainly see sellers giving a lot more in concessions. Have the prices themselves regressed? What we see right now anyway is that we've seen more of a leveling off of prices. Maybe a slight decrease, maybe a slight increase depending on your price point, but we've definitely seen a leveling off. Now, month supply. If you notice, we peaked out up here at 4.43 month supply a couple of months ago. Since then, we've gone down and we kind of fluctuated, but we are at 4.22 month supply. So not a huge change, but if you notice, it's trending back like it's either leveling out or going down. It's still kind of hard to get a read exactly where we are. So even though inventory is rising, the number of homes that are going under contract is increasing also, so it's actually keeping that a month supply from accelerating and going even higher. Traditionally, we always said that about 6 months supply was a balanced market. I think most of us have kind of changed that over the past couple of years, and probably closer to 4 to 5%, or 4 to 5 month supply is more of a balanced market. If you're at 6, you're really going to feel like you're in a buyer's market at that point. A couple of interesting things we're going to watch this week, and this is the main one. Look at our new listings. They have taken a nosedive here over the past couple of weeks, actually 3 weeks. Traditionally, new homes coming on the market, or new listings, not new construction, but new homes for sale coming on the market, start dropping off. We usually see that a couple of months from now, so we're seeing that a little early. Still not enough to give it a trend, but if that drops off much more over the next few weeks, I really see us shifting back closer to a seller's market than we are a buyer's market. So we're really going to watch that. The pendings, though, as we talked about, and it's the orange line, so if we compare it to last year, the pendings are still remaining fairly strong, even though, if you look back here for 6 or 7 weeks, we were well above 2025 numbers. Now we're kind of dancing back and forth depending on each week. So the demand is a little bit closer to what we were seeing this time last year. We talk about the speed of the market quite a bit. I hit on this a little bit earlier, I believe, but 4 out of 10 homes that actually sell. They actually sell, not just all the homes that hit the market, but the homes that actually sell. 4 out of 10 of those go under contract in the first 7 days. So it's still a market that's moving pretty quickly on the homes that are moving. And the dark blue line is the percent of homes in that price range that are going under contract in that first 7 days. Overall, it's actually 41%, 41.2% of all homes. But you can see, in the under 300 range, only 11% of the homes that hit the market are going under contract the first week, versus over here where we have less inventory, the 6 to 7 million price range, 2/3 of the homes are going under contract in that first week. I would submit to you, if I really broke those down, that probably those are pre-sales. They're new constructions and probably pre-sales, and so obviously they would go under contract before they start the construction. We don't talk about the true original list price and the days on the market and how everything's working, and this chart kind of looks busy, so I understand it could be a little bit hard to read. So if we go over here to all price ranges, what the green represents is homes that went under contract in 7 days or less. Okay, and homes that did in Williamson County right now are getting 99.81% of their true original list price. Okay. Now, if you went under contract somewhere between 8 days and 89 days of being on the market, on average, you're getting 97.3% of your original asking price. Once you hit over 90 days, if you go under contract, you're usually getting a little over 90% of your original asking price. So means you're probably priced too high, had to start reducing it, and then at some point after 90 days, someone came in and said, hey, I won't buy that house, but you've been on the market for a long time, so I'm going to hit you even harder and try to get you to come off the price even more. And you can see as we get into some of the higher price points, this changes. The interesting thing in the 400,000s, this right here, anything that was on the market, and probably I would bet you one or two homes probably really skewed this. So that number is definitely strange, where if you've been on the market for 8 to 89 days, you're getting 121% of your asking price. But as you can see, you're going to get closer to asking price if you go under contract within that first 7 days, but it also means you probably priced it closer to correct as well. Showings. Everybody wants to know about showings. What's going on? It's trending down, y'all. It is trending down. You can see going back about 6 weeks ago, we had a little bit of a peak here, and then you have to go back another 8 or 10 weeks to where we peaked out at 2 3/4 showings per week on a listing. Right now, every listing on average in Williamson County is getting less than 1.5 showings per week. Now that's on average. Your price point may vary, and this has the different price points here. Obviously, the 500,000 to 600,000 is doing very well with your showings, but some of these other ones are sitting closer to half a showing per week. So that's what's going on with that. Let's see, what else do we need to know? So new listings, they're slowing. It's not necessarily dropped off, but we are concerned about the number of new listings that are coming on the market. So what does this mean for everybody? Well, for buyers, you have a little bit more breathing room now. Kind of the spring rush is over. We're at the time where most people who are trying to buy a home because of school, and they're changing school zones or coming in from another place, trying to get the kids in school, most of those people have either closed on their house now or they're under contract, because we're getting close enough to the time for school, believe it or not, where it's going to be a little bit tougher to buy and still have your child in school in time. So buyers, you don't have as much competition. Sellers, you're getting to the point where, quite frankly, you've got another couple of weeks of a window of strong buyer activity if things hold up like they have traditionally. And if they don't, we're probably going to see a drop-off in buyer activity as well. With that said, seller activity starts dropping off, and as you saw in some of those charts, that usually newer listings coming on the market drop off as well. So even with buyer activity dropping off, it does not mean your home won't sell, and it does mean you might have a little bit less competition if you're a seller out there. At least that's what we've seen traditionally. So that's what's going on with the Williamson County real estate market right now. As I said, I'm John Turner of the Turner Victory Team, team lead of the Turner Victory Team at Onward Real Estate. We bring this information to you every week. We hope you enjoy it. We hope it helps you whenever you're looking at making real estate decisions. And if you need further help or guidance, please reach out to myself or our team. We've been doing this for many years in this area. As a matter of fact, most of my team members have been with us over a decade. Some of them have been with us over 20 years. So very experienced. They know what they're doing, and we would love to help you navigate through this market. So until next week, I hope you make it a great week. Thank you.